Hey, Hot Toddy.
Hi.
Are you ready to review Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
Yes, I am, because as you know, Miss Pengrino, bustin' makes me feel good.
Why I like to be nude.
Okay.
Flop. Poor Ray Parker Jr. He couldn't have known that 40 years after he wrote that song that the term busting or bustin' would have a whole new meaning in this world.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, because it's a great thing. It was very funny, and you know it.
Sure.
Bitch, are you for real?
Welcome! I'm Hot Toddy, that's Miss Pengrino, and welcome to an all-new episode of Get Real. Yeah, I don't even, you want to do the thing?
No.
Do you want to do it?
No.
Want to do the thing?
Too late now.
Well, it's never too late.
Nope, it's too late.
It's never too late.
Get real.
It's not.
I did it. How you feel about it?
I'm tired! I've been under a lot of stress. I lost my wife. I lost my job. And I've got some sort of rash from making in the bushes.
For the first time in New York history, a room full of people froze to death in July.
So as you can see, we got the Ghostbusters behind us here, the OG Ghostbusters, and I got the Ghostbusters hat on, and with all of that, you think I would have just absolutely thought this was the greatest movie ever made, and
I did. I thought it was an awesome movie.
That's giving it a little too much credit, but no, it was
best movie
a
ever made, but
solid movie. Miss Pengrino, what did you think of Ghostbusters Frozen? What was it called? Ghostbusters
Frozen Empire?
I was going to say Frozen Kingdom, but it's Frozen Empire. Yes.
I think.
No, it is Frozen Empire.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right. So what did you think of Ghostbusters Frozen Pudding Pops?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Good. Good.
It kind of brought back that like real comedic sense that was in the first one.
Heads up, tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
Keep you on the edge of your seat, but blast you with funny as well.
Because bustin' makes you feel good.
Why I like to be nude.
Let's be real. I have
No.
actually
Let's get real.
Okay. I have liked all the Ghostbusters. Every one of them.
Even the one that shall not be named.
Yes. Even the all-female one. I enjoyed it thoroughly because I enjoyed the people in it.
Let's get that out of the way right now, because I don't think it was ever clearly stated 8 years ago when that movie came out. The actors in that movie, the people they had...
Actresses.
Why are you the way that you are?
The people they had in that movie were superb. They were sublime. They found the best cast to do that movie. It was the writing. The movie was the story was so blah. It was not good. I didn't like the story.
The story necessarily wasn't blah. It's just the way they went
it wasn't.
about it.
It was blah. That
like
story was blah.
The concept of there being this thin veil and you can break it is not bad.
It wasn't a great story, but if they had better screenwriters to write that story, or if the screenwriters just wrote a different story, it probably would have been a better movie, but because of that, it wasn't. But, like, it was not the fault of Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, any of them, because they are a powerhouse team, and that...
I love them all.
That was a great movie.
I would sit and watch that any day, just because I love them.
It just wasn't as good as we all hoped, obviously, but...
That's not the one we're here to talk about.
No, we're completely off topic now, but I too love the first two original Ghostbuster movies. Afterlife was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was all right.
Afterlife seemed to, like, drag a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you had really, like, okay, we're creeping up to it, we hit it, and then we just, like, dissolve, and...
Because bustin' makes you feel good.
Stop it. Well, we're stopping this review.
Why I like to be nude.
So this one, I felt like, kept you on the edge of your seat, made me laugh, like, throughout the whole thing. It was more...
Action.
Involved?
There was a lot more going on
involved
than in Afterlife.
Yeah.
Afterlife was... What made Afterlife interesting was that it was just a long story. It was an actual story told about the new era of Ghostbusters commingling with the old era.
It took too long to get there.
They took a while to get there, and then when we got there, It was just Zool again. It was they just rehashed and then that's where everybody was like, no, that was not that was a cop out. Then in this movie they decided to do a new original villain, which was really great. I thought that was really cool.
Creepy looking villain.
A unique villain. But the first half of the movie they still fell into that trap of, oh god, we got to get through this so that we can get to the climax, and that's where we got exposition the movie. Because only in B movies have I seen that amount of explanation. Like every scene was a new explanation scene.
Yeah.
And like Dan Aykroyd, God bless him. I'm glad he had such a big role in this movie. But like every scene he was in, he was explaining a new thing.
Yeah.
It's an unimaginable evil with the power to kill by fear itself.
There was so much explaining to do in this film, and I felt that it was a little overkill. So that's where it became like exposition the movie, where it had to be all these things. But it did lead up to an interesting climax and plot of the film.
I will say, kind of weird in the sense that we weren't really hunting a ghost per se.
Mm-hmm.
We were hunting more like a demon/god.
That, you know, I didn't think of it that way. You're right.
Which
well,
was a little strange for me.
But so was Zool, though, when you think about it.
That's true, I guess. I didn't really think about that.
Zool is a demon, yeah.
So I'm kind of like, when did we go from ghost to demon? But I guess I forgot about Zool. So.
It's all interconnecting. The whole movie, and that's the thing about the Ghostbusters movies, is the whole movie, they get those montages of them getting ghosts. And then they have to deal with the big bad, and the big bad usually is a demon. It's usually outside of their realm, and that's what makes it more difficult for them to deal with, because they're not expecting such a huge pushback from a ghost. But this is not just any ghost. It's a demon who does ridiculous, crazy things. It's not like it's not like Slimer, that the worst he could do is just slime you. You know, that's it. I mean, bustin makes me feel good.
Because we had somebody out of their realm, we had to bring in another magical being, per se.
Well, we'll get to that, Miss Pengrino. We'll get to that. First of all, can I just say that one of the highlights of the movie is Kumail Nanjiani. His character, the Fire Master.
First off, wait, pause.
It's great.
He's just great in himself as a human being, as an actor.
Like, he should have become one of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I would have been.
His character was just so fun, and that's a character we haven't seen in a while. He was sort of like the Louis Tully, the Rick Moranis character of this generation of Ghostbusters. And I liked him. I loved him a lot. But he didn't have a whole lot to do in the movie except the fire, and that was it. It was the fire thing.
Well, he was the trigger of the event because he released the sphere from
the sphere.
The sphere.
What the hell is even that?
From the brass holder and room, because he was trying to get a little kizash.
An unmitigated disaster.
His character was just
character kind of fucked everything up.
But his character was just fun, and I loved him so much, and he was so great. But yeah, one problem I have with this movie is his character, because in every Ghostbusters movie, or at least the original, Afterlife, and this one, there's always a human that is the something that helps bring the ghost back to life or can take the ghost out. Of course, you had the gatekeeper and the keymaster in the original and Afterlife. We all know what that means, gatekeeper and keymaster.
Why I like to be nude.
But in this case, it was the fire master who because this ghost, this demon, perpetuates ice. It's through fear, and so
it literally freezes you in fear.
To fight back, you fight him with fire. You fight ice. What do you fight cold with? Warmth. And so
which makes total sense.
And so he is the fire guy, and so he does that, which is cool.
Light the candle.
Ooh, which is great. That whole concept was great. I loved that character.
I probably laughed so hard at him.
No, exactly.
It's great.
It really is.
I love him. So.
No, it's you can't get enough of him. It really is great. Yeah. I feel like there should have been more to his character. We did get a lot of it, but we needed more, and I feel like he should have been a Ghostbuster, because he really would have definitely brought something to the table. But I don't think we needed the Fire Master stuff.
Stop it!
Here's another complaint. It needed more Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt was in one scene.
Come on.
I love Patton.
I mean, I love Patton Oswalt too, but
Did you note all the Mystery Science Theater connections there? Patton Oswalt, of course, is a cast member on Mystery Science Theater now.
Okay.
But Kamal Nanjiani is best friends and used to do a TV show with Jonah Ray, who plays Jonah on Mystery Science Theater. So there's a lot of Mystery Science connections there. But I needed more Patton. He was only in one scene, and Patton Oswalt should have been a Ghostbuster. Like, wouldn't that have been amazing?
I mean, not necessarily a Ghostbuster, but like
here's who the
Ghostbuster Investigation Squad.
At
least
At
least Patton, because he didn't seem like he was gonna go chasing ghosts. He would get like the information.
Oh, is he like the Garcia of the Ghostbusters? From is that NCIS or
Criminal Minds?
Criminal Minds.
Garcia.
Yeah,
He's the Garcia of Ghostbusters.
Oh.
And I would have been fine with that. Kumal could have been.
No, I can see Patton with a proton pack on his back doing the thing. Doing the thing.
No, I feel like he'd run the other way.
Okay, girl, bye.
Now you brought this up, and to be honest, you were bringing it up, and to be honest, it's a part of the movie that I didn't really. Again, it's something else that I don't think we needed.
Okay.
I get why we had it, but we didn't really. It was the ghostly best friend. It was Casper the Friendly Ghost in this movie.
It's not so friendly at first.
Well, you know, again, we don't want to give spoilers here, but okay. So Phoebe Spangler, the little girl in the movie, she makes friends with a girl ghost. Her name is Melody, and they strike up. And I was catching on to this, but I had to confirm with you because I wasn't too sure, but you confirmed it that there was a little bit of a
friend plus relationship, if you will. It was
turning into more like a love type situation, but it never went that far. But it was kind of developing
one
that.
One is a ghost and one is human.
Right, but yeah, it was kind of developing into that.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like that kind of hurts the Ghostbusters lore, though, when you think about it, because the ghosts in Ghostbusters are supposed to be just like drones, you know, like they
tormented, lost souls.
You remember?
Yeah.
You remember, and for some reason she was in this movie, and I don't know why, the librarian ghost, where they come up on her and she's just stacking books on the shelf because that's what she did when she was alive. So but then when confronted, she turns into this scary monster because that's all they know.
Yeah.
It's that, and then to attack mode in their ghostly form, and so that's what ghosts know. They're not like super sentient to where they can hold conversations with you or things like that. Except for like the demons, and that's like the main bad guys. That's what makes them bad guys. So that should have tipped Phoebe off, in my opinion. That if a ghost is like talking, having full conversation with me, something's going on here. But then she turns good in the end. I don't know. That whole thing was kind of like because not that it wasn't great. I mean, it worked, but it was just like you're kind of like messing up the lore, because ghosts in the Ghostbusters universe are supposed to be like pests. Like it's like pest control. You come in and you get rid of like the wild ant, like the raccoon that's broken into your house, or the possum that's broken into your house, or an exterminator because you got to get rid of the termites or the bugs. But in this case,
think about in Afterlife, Egon popped up for a minute as a normal.
We don't talk about that, Ms. Pengrino.
I mean,
we don't talk about that because that was the dumbest thing that's ever happened in a movie ever.
An unmitigated disaster.
We don't talk about the Egon ghost. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Stop it.
Why I like to be nude.
But he was like a talking normal ghost.
He didn't talk. Egon didn't speak. He just looked. But we don't talk about that because that was stupid.
He wasn't like a crazy psycho one.
That was stupid. Stupid. That was a stupid part of the movie. Ms. Pengrino. Hey, the movie was under 2 hours.
That's a plus.
That was always a plus.
That's a fantastic
Listen,
plus right there.
Hollywood, keep that momentum.
Keep that momentum.
Keep that momentum. Keep going, please. with the under 2-hour film. That was and they got everything they needed to get out.
Everything.
In 115 minutes.
Yep.
I'm proud of them. Proud of you.
Proud of you.
Probably a couple more they're gonna cut too. It's like probably.
Well, a deleted scene, sure, but they deleted it down to
yeah,
almost 2 hours. Not even quite 2 hours. So that's great.
that is.
But here's another thing. We've talked about a lot of great characters in the movie, right?
We have. Don't mind my dance break.
Just like in the Neil Breen movie, there was a dance break in that movie.
There was not a dance break in this movie.
There was not a dance break. There was almost one in the 2016. You remember that? When they get into that position?
Oh, yeah.
But then they don't do anything. Again, bad screenwriting.
Bad screenwriting.
Getting back to Frozen Emperor, Frozen
Empire.
Kingdom, Frozen
Empire.
Frozen Olaf. That's Frozen, right?
Frozen.
Back to Frozen.
Okay.
So in Frozen,
In summer.
copyright. Oh, we're back. Okay, good. So in Frozen, there were way too many characters. Did you think so? Especially at the end of the movie, there was way too many people trying to fight the bad guy. There were so many characters. And what was irritating to me...
It's all 4 new Ghostbusters, all 4 old Ghostbusters.
Well, like in Afterlife, in the original...
Starter.
That's one of the good things about Afterlife was the fact that they focused on the family more and Paul Rudd's character. And we got to know them. And then they included Dan Aykroyd as Ray. Like, he works at that store now. He does that thing. And then we snuck in Ernie Hudson a little bit. And then at the end of the movie, kaboom, the Ghostbusters reunite. And that was a cool thing. And then that stupid Egon ghost. We don't talk about that, though.
We don't talk about
But
Bruno.
in this movie, like, it was, we couldn't, like, no one had any kind of focus on them except for Phoebe. Now, Phoebe's character did get most of the focus, which is fine. But then they tried to include everybody else in this whole thing, and it just didn't work. Like, there was too many people in this movie. My thought process is maybe shorten the original Ghostbusters back down to just a cameo towards the end of the movie, or maybe in the middle of it. I don't know. I don't know how they could have worked it, but it's like Podcast, the little friend.
Yeah.
Why he didn't have to be in this.
No.
The love interest for
the brother
in the last one, she didn't have to be in this. They didn't have to bring these people back. And you note that the focus of Afterlife was more on him. He barely was in this film.
Yeah.
He barely had anything to do in Frozen Empire. And so it just...
I'm 18. Be an adult.
I gotta get Slimer. And then he never gets Slimer. Except he gets slimed by Slimer. Because bustin' makes Slimer feel good.
No, eating makes Slimer feel good.
Both.
Let it go.
But anyway, yeah, so that's like, it was cluttered. It was a little cluttered. Like, if you were gonna have Patton Oswalt, bring more Patton Oswalt and less of the classic Ghostbusters. Do more of the new group and Patton Oswalt and Kumail Nanjiani. That's all you had to do. But they focused too much, I felt, on everybody. And when there wasn't really much of a focus.
Too many storylines.
Too many storylines. And like I said, Paul Rudd didn't have a whole lot to do in this movie either. He was just kind of there. And that's bad. And that sucks for... when you're trying to set up a new era of the franchise. Yeah. It's like they set up the new era in the last one, and then they kind of toss that aside in this one, and just like, okay, let's get the old Ghostbusters back, let's throw this in there, let's throw that in there, and I just feel like there wasn't enough focus on one person in the film.
Well, one would assume that they did this because this would be their final movie. So it was one final, like, hip, hip, hoorah for them.
Am I scratching my ear on camera?
Yeah, you are.
Ew. But overall, no, I thought the movie was fine. I thought it was entertaining. I definitely liked it better than Afterlife. I think it was a solid sequel. My only issue is that maybe cut down some of the characters. Let's not focus on so many and so much nostalgia. We didn't need the Slimer situation. I guess...
No, that was kind of not necessary.
That was not necessary, but again, I guess they're trying to do that to give the brother something to do in the movie, because they knew they weren't going to focus very much on him. So, shorten everything down a little bit. Cut out some of the exposition, like give some explanation, give some plot structure, and then let's get into it. You know what I mean? But because a lot of what you see in the movie, or in the trailer rather, didn't happen till towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. And
so I'm like, you could do this stuff earlier if you just write it out correctly. But those are just little minor nitpicky things. Overall, I think it's a good film, and I think it's entertaining. Which leads to recommendation time. Miss Pengrino, would you recommend Ghostbusters Frozen
Empire?
Frozen fish sticks.
Mrs. Pell's fish sticks. Yes. Oh, yes. They're even better when you're dead.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My one hate is that I couldn't get the specialty popcorn bucket.
A coworker of mine, we had a meeting today, and she got the trap. She got the trap.
Oh, where'd she get it from?
I don't know. She just said she went to the theater. I think she got it at, I don't know, AMC, was it AMC Theater?
AMC and Regal both said they had one. Of course, the one we went to did not have any.
Right, but she got the little ghost trap popcorn bucket. She showed it to us.
I want it so bad.
I was like, yeah, that's
they were really
cool.
expensive though.
Yeah, they were. But yeah, so there you go. Ghostbusters Frozen.
You didn't give your recommendation.
Oh, see it. Go see it. Okay,
it is worth the money to go see in theaters for sure. If you're willing to do the 4K thing, I don't know if it's in there. Or through, You mean
like IMAX? Or,
yeah.
It's worth it, because, this is a...
Well, I don't know if it's in there, because they only show certain things. But if it is, I actually think it would be worth going to see that. That'd be pretty cool.
It's a theater movie. It's a theater movie. Don't wait till streaming. Go out and see it, because it's a fun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, it's a fun plot. I think that they definitely should do a sequel. They should continue the series, but focus more on Paul Rudd and the family. And
lab people, put them back in the lab.
Put them back in the lab.
They don't need to be outside
That
of
was
the lab.
another thing. We didn't need the lab tech guy. He came in for one scene. I thought, okay, that's good. But then he was in the rest of the movie. Yeah. Come on. We gotta...
The lab tech people can be in the lab, and when you visit the lab, they can have their moment.
We can.
And then we leave the lab, and they're gone.
We can cut out some of that. But no, overall, though, it's a solid movie. It's entertaining.
Very good.
And I think they should make another one for it. So go check it out. Ghostbusters Frozen Underwear.
Okay.
So that's Get Real. How do we end this? You want to do a... Oh, you're just going to walk away. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no. Santa Claus 3 is going to come get me. That's not... Okay, bye.